Finally, at 80, Tom Selleck tells the truth about Glenn Ford. Tom Selleck Wastamus William Selleck was born on January 29th of 1945 in Detroit, Michigan. Selleck came from a simple, hard-working family that valued honesty, self-control, and determination, traits that would later define his career and his on-screen personality. When his family moved to California, young Tom quickly found himself drawn to sports. He went to the University of Southern California on a basketball scholarship, where his tall, athletic frame and competitive spirit made him a player who stands out. But fate had different plans for him. During his time in college, he started modeling and getting little acting jobs to help pay the bills, not knowing that they were making way for a great career in movies and TV. In the beginning, Selleck had the usual problems that young people have an actor who wants to make it big in Hollywood. He appeared on a lot of TV shows, commercials, and bit parts in shows during the late 1960s and early 1970s. Many people remember his early appearances in Pepsi and close-up toothpaste ads where his natural began to show off his charm and trademark mustache to get the audience's attention. Even though he was first cast as the handsome Selleck kept going, refusing to let early problems define him. He learned acting seriously, accepted rejection with humility, and worked hard to get better at his craft. Patience is a rare trait in this field. Crazy about getting famous right away. In 1980, he finally got his big break when got the part of Thomas Magnum in CBS show Magnum P.I, role that would make him not merely a superstar and an American icon TV. Magnum P.I became a huge hit from 1980 to 1988 and giving Selleck both critical and popular acclaim. Praise. As a private investigator living in Hawaii, Thomas Magnum Selleck is an investigator that lives in Hawaii, embodied the perfect balance of toughness and charm. His portrayal was refreshingly real. He wasn't perfect hero, but a funny, relatable, and moral man who often found himself in extraordinary situations. With his Hawaiian shirts that he always wears, Ferrari 308 GTS, and easygoing charisma, Selleck became a symbol of 1980 seconds cool. The role earned him an Emmy Award for Great Lead Actor in a Drama Series in 1984, solidifying his place as one often of the most popular leading men on TV. Yet, even at the height of his glory, Selleck remained humble and deeply appreciative of the fans who backed him all along the way. While Magnum P.I was the cornerstone of his success, Selleck's film career also prospered. He appeared in a range of successful movies, including 3 Men and a Baby, 1987, and its sequel, 3 Men and a Little Lady, 1990, and both of these held off his funny timing and warm fatherly charm. Other movies like Emmer, Baseball, 1990, and Quigley Down Under 1992 and 1997 in and out showed how flexible he was by proving heckled glide effortlessly between drama, comedy, and action. What made Selleck it wasn't just his screen presence that made him stand out. It was also his dedication to his presence, but also his dedication to his art. He picked his roles very carefully, that were in line with his own beliefs and stayed away from the problems that come with fame, keeping a steady and good name. Selleck in later years kept winning over new fans with his portrayal of Frank Reagan, the stoic and morally upright New York City police long-running CBS drama Blue Bloods. Starting in 2010, the show was another big hit, and Selleck's performance got high accolades for giving depth, dignity, and quiet strength to a part that rang true deeply with viewers. His character's focus on duty, family, and faith matched the ideals Selleck has long upheld in his real life. Fans appreciated his ability to portray a man of principle without pretense, further making him one of the most regarded actors in Hollywood. Tom Selleck's romantic life has always intrigued fans almost as much as his charisma on screen. Behind the mustache, the quiet confidence, and the rugged charm that made up his acting persona, a man who loves his family very much, stability and love that lasts. Values that they've helped him through both the triumphs and heartaches of his personal relations. Tom has been through a lot over the years, the pain of divorce and the happiness of a marriage that lasts. Experiences that helped develop him into the grounded and humble individual admired by millions. Selleck's first wife was model and actress Jacqueline Ray, a beautiful woman who caught his attention while the first few years of his career in Hollywood work. The two married in 1971, a time when Tom was still having trouble make a name for himself in the industry business. He hadn't reached the fame all over the world that would come later. Magnum P.I. and the first few years of his life Jacqueline was full of both aspiration and doubt. Jacqueline Alredisam hat, known in the modeling world, became a stabilizing presence for Tom as navigated the obstacles of show business. Their relationship showed the pressures faced by young Hollywood couples, balancing love, personal dreams, and the never-ending need for success. During their marriage, Selleck not only pursued acting roles, but also took on the responsibility of fatherhood when he adopted Jacqueline's son, Kevin Shepard, from her previous marriage. This decision demonstrated the depth of his commitment and sense of duty. Kevin would later go on to have his own career in music, and Tom kept up with a strong, loving bond with him a long time after he married Jacqueline Over. Selleck's fame grew, but worked hard to make their home safe life. But his growing needs for the acting career slowly wore on their relationship. As he started to get famous, rise in the early 1980s, the stresses of Hollywood life and long filming schedules strained their marriage beyond repair. After more than Adam Selleck and Jacqueline have been together for 10 years, Ray and Ray's divorce was complete. There was no public around the separation, not scandal or resentment, but it must have been awful for both of them. Selleck later said that being famous can be isolation, and the hard nature of success frequently comes at a hefty personal cost. He still showed respect, though, to Jacqueline, and thankful for the years they spent together as children. Their marriage helped define his approach to love and commitment, which taught him that more than passion, they want you to be patient, understanding, and balance. A few years later, while filming in London for his 1984 movie Lacquer, Selleck met Jill Joan Mack, a British actress and dancer who would one day become the one he loves the most. Jill, who is known for her lively spirit and warm personality, instantly got his attention when she showed up in the West Stop making Cats. Tom, who had gone to see the musical, found himself more fascinated by one particular performance than the show itself. After the curtain fell, he arranged to meet Jill backstage, and that moment sparked a connection that would blossom into one of Hollywood's most enduring love stories. The couple married in 1987 in a quiet, intimate ceremony that reflected Tom's growing desire for privacy and authenticity. By this time, Selleck was an international star thanks to Magnum P.I, but fame had taught him the importance of keeping his private life safe from intrusion from the public. Their wedding was held under false names. To stay out of the news, showed how serious they were about their promise to each other. Many Hollywood movies don't do this. Marriages made in the light of cameras. Theirs was built on mutual respect, laughter, and things they have in common priorities. Later, Tom and Jill welcomed Thyranna. Margaret Selleck was born in 1988, and her birth was a turning point in his life. Selleck is known for stepping away from Magnum P.I to focus on raising his family and tending to his ranch in California. He once said that while performing provided him fame and financial prosperity, family always comes first. This philosophy became the cornerstone of his marriage to Jill, and it explains why their relationship has lasted for nearly 4 decades. Together, they have created a peaceful, private life away from Hollywood's chaos, spending time horseback riding, caring for Thigh Ranch, and supporting their daughter Sul's full career as an equestrian. After decades of silence and reflection, Tom Selleck, now 80 years old, has finally opened up about one of the most influential yet misunderstood figures in Hollywood history, Glenn Ford. Selleck, known for his dignified privacy and quiet respect toward his peers, rarely speaks about his personal heroes. But when it comes to Ford, the man who helped shape his understanding of acting and professionalism, Selleck has a lot to say. Glenn Ford was a man who carried Hollywood on his shoulders without ever demanding the credit. Selleck remarked, he had that rare blend of strength and subtlety that every actor tries to master, but few ever do. Selleck first encountered Ford's work long before he became a household name himself. Growing up in California in the 1950s, he regularly watched classic westerns and dramas where Ford stood as the moral compass, calm, restrained, and quietly commanding. He wasn't a loud actor, Selleck reflected. He didn't need Tashout to be heard. His eyes did the work. His silence did the talking. That's something I tried to carry into my own job. Selleck's famous portrayal of Thomas Magnum and Magnum P.I has echoes of Ford's quiet intensity, a charm that doesn't come from not words but presence. When Selleck eventually ran into Ford in the early 1970s. He was still a young actor trying to figure out where he fits in Hollywood. Ford, who was already an expert with years of experience, treated him with kindness and respect. He didn't act like a star. He acted like a man who had been through the wars literally and figuratively, Selleck said, referring to Ford's actual service in World War I. He taught me how to be an actor. Wasn't about fame. It was about discipline, honesty, and staying true to yourself. That advice, Selleck explained, became the backbone of his own acto, his craft, and his career choices. Selleck admired Ford not only as an actor but as a human being. He described Ford as a man's man who still knew how to show kindness. Behind his exterior was a deep sense of loyalty and kindness. He didn't play heroes. He played mentoring to do the right thing even when it hurt. Selleck remarked, "That's actual acting. That's real life." In an era when leading men relied on swagger and style, Ford brought something deeper, a quiet moral gravity that could fill the screen without a single raised voice. Selleck credited Ford for inspiring him to approach roles like Magnum P.I, Quigley Down Under, and Blue Bloods with that same grounded authenticity. Over the years, Selleck often found himself thinking of Ford's legacy whenever he stepped onto a set. "Sometimes I'd ask myself, how would Glenn handle this scene?" He admitted he had this ability to make every moment feel honest. He never feigned it. "You can teach that. You can only learn it by watching." Selleck recalled that Ford's performance in 310 to Yuma and The Big Heat were master classes in emotional restraint. They taught him that stillness could be far more powerful than action, and the slightest gestures often conveyed the most truth. When asked what he thought Ford would make of today's Hollywood, Selleck smiled thoughtfully. "Glenn would probably shake his head," he said. "Heck me from a time when integrity mattered, when performers took delight in doing their work quietly and doing it well. He didn't chase publicity or play the fame game. He just showed up, did his job, and went home." That old-school professionalism is something Selleck has also become known for, and he acknowledges that Ford's example helped him avoid many of the pitfalls that ruin careers. "He showed method. Longevity comes from humility," Selleck said, "and that's something I never forgot." Reflecting on Ford's passing in 2006, Selleck grew somber. "I wish I'd told him how much he meant to him," he confessed. "People assume actors always tell each other that stuff, but we don't. You think you'll have more time. Then one day you realize that opportunity is gone." His voice softened as he added, "Glenn Ford wasn't just an actor to me. He was a standard. He reminded me what this business could be at its best." Now, as Tom Selleck himself becomes a revered elder statesman of Hollywood, he feels a deep duty to move forward the lessons Ford embodied. "When younger actors ask me for help," he said, "I tell them the same thing Glenn taught me. Don't act the part, live it. Be honest in your work, and don't let the noise distract you." For Selleck, Glenn Ford's influence endures not just in film history, but in the quiet integrity of every actor who refuses to compromise their craft for fame. In many ways, Selleck's tribute to Glenn Ford is also a reflection of his own journey. Two men of few words, both devoted to authenticity, decency, and the timeless art of storytelling. As he put it simply, "Glenn Ford showed me what it meant to be a real man in this business. I owe him more than he ever knew." Tommy Lee Jones's life and career form a portray of quiet brilliance, a man who rose from Texas Plains to Hollywood glory without ever losing his sense of who he was. As one of the great actors of his generation, he continues to inspire admiration for his discipline, intelligence, and integrity. Few performers have managed to blend hardness and softness so effortlessly, and even fewer have left such a lasting mark on American cinema. Tommy Lee Jones is not merely a star. He's a storyteller with a lot of power and authenticity, a living legend, whose work will continue to inspire generations to come.